the mic to Christian.
All right, hi guys. First of all, thank you for joining this today's webinar. What we are discussing right now is all about how Lazada does its marketing in terms of social media. So for this today's session, we're focusing on Facebook and Instagram as the main channel, mainly because one, Facebook is one of the best channel in terms of posting media ads and in terms of reaching a better market to our users. Mainly because our Lazada is basically based on the app, so it's really best for us to do Facebook in terms of leveraging that channel for us. So okay, so let's start. So I'm sure, can everyone see the slide already? Yes. So I guess yes. So let's start first with our outline for today. So what's in for today? We have 5 main points. So I'm going to be discussing what is social media marketing. Then what are the different kinds of ads that we post in social media? So those things I will be delving in later. Then next, what are the goals of social media marketing? Why are we doing this in the first place? What makes it more advantageous compared to offline marketing? What is what's the main idea why we do this in the first place, and why are we leveraging a lot of budget into this kind of channel? Next, how to make good Facebook ads, of course, because we don't want just post anything there in Facebook, especially that we're using our brand as Lazada. And of course, if ever you do plan to also do Facebook ads for your businesses, for your own businesses, it's also best to have very good Facebook ads aligned with your branding, aligned with what you really want, to make sure your customers would understand how you want your products or your brand to be perceived. And then next, our last point is, how do we know if the ad is effective? This is mainly from data science. So it's very important you also know how to analyze data from your ads. It's very important for you to be efficient, because note that if you are going to be using Facebook as a media channel in terms of advertising your products, it's very I think it's obvious that we're also going to be shelling out money out of this. But then shelling out of money doesn't necessarily mean that you're just going to be burning on cash right there and then or every day. You have to make sure that whatever money or how much budget you allocate for this specific ads for your campaigns, it should be efficient in such a way that you would also measure your return of investment in terms of those campaigns. So there. Okay, let's now proceed to our first point. So what is social media marketing? So, okay, so next slide. Okay, so first, let me first differentiate what's the difference between offline marketing and online marketing. So offline marketing, let's start with first with offline. So note that I will be discussing online marketing more. So most of the discussion will revolve around online, but then it's important that you also know how to differentiate both. So offline marketing, basically, these are the things that we see outside. So may it be billboards, may it be those ads that you see in radio, those ads that you see in TVCs, TV commercials, those ads that you see in LRT, MRT, in the train stations, even in taxis, buses. Those are all offline marketings. So the reason why there is a differentiation between offline marketing and online marketing is that offline reaches a wide range of customers, but then the problem with offline marketing is we can't really target specific customers that we want to. So for example, I'll give you a certain example for one of the disadvantages of offline marketing. It's limited to such a way that, let's say, for example, if we're going to target just the female customers, we can't do that because anyone can see offline ads, right? Anyone can see TVCs, anyone can see radio ads, anyone can hear radio ads rather. While for online marketing, for online performance, it's actually different. It actually gives you a sense of targeting. It gives you more efficiency because you would be able to target specific customers based on the objectives of your campaigns. So for example, say your brand is more for makeup, right? So you can target female customers only in Facebook. You can target, say, for example, 18 to 50 years old only, because you think that 18 to 50 years old is the most relevant demographic age that you need to be able to target to in terms of makeup. So that's the difference. So for offline, you can't really segment your market because anyone can see it. So in terms of being able to target specific users, it's always best to target online marketing. I mean, best to target to leverage with online marketing rather. Okay, so I hope you were able to understand that. Again, if you have questions, you can just post it in the chat so that we'll be able to go back to it later. So, okay, so next slide, social media marketing. Okay, let's now go for Facebook marketing. So for Facebook marketing, we have two different segments. So we call it social engagement as the first one, and second would be social paid. So for social engagement, so our main objective here is for our consumers, our users to be engaged with whatever we post in our Facebook page, right? For example, for Lazada, right? So, for example, what the objective for social engagement posts is for them to be engaged. So, what do we mean by engage? For them to like, for them to make comments, for them to share, for them to actually even get more viewers for our Facebook lives. So that's more for social engagement because you would want users to be more engaged to whatever we post online. So for social paid, it's a different scenario because there is a sense of objective here. Why? Because for social paid, our objective is to target conversions, is for our users to click on our ad, visit our app, and then convert. So that's basically the difference. In terms of the purpose and the objective of your posts, that would be segmented to both. For social engagement, as you can see in the slide, it's more of organic because people, if they see your post, they will just like, comment, and share. For social paid, we paid for these ads because we want them to convert, we want them to install. Say, for example, if we're targeting a broad set of consumers, we want them to see our ad and install our app, and then afterwards they will be able to we will be able to drive traffic and install and convert from that new customer. So that is the difference between social engagement and social paid. Okay, so let's start first with social engagement. I have briefly explained it a while ago. So it's also called social involvement or social participation. So what it does, it refers to one's degree of participation in a community or society. What we mainly do here, for example, if we have brand launches, so for example, if we have L'Oreal, Pampers, we have, I think recently we had this Unilever brand day. So we posted stuff online, and those are the things that we want our users to be engaged in. We want them to know that there is this thing that is happening around. Okay, so for example, for the examples that is shown in the slide, so the moms and moms for moms. So that specific post is basically for us to make them feel more engaged, to reach a wide range of consumers, and for them to actually be able to know that they can buy Californian moms for Mother's Day. And it also happens for other brands like Clinique, for L'Oreal, as I have mentioned. Okay, so next slide. So social paid. Okay, so this is more of data science. This is more of what I do here in Lazada. So it can be divided into both mobile app install and mobile app engagement. So for social paid, so what we want to be able to, as I've mentioned, what we want to be able to target here is the fact that we are targeting people who would want to might be install the ad and who would want to be more engaged in terms of being able to buy and convert the products that we post. So let's start first with mobile app install. So what we do here is mainly from a perspective of targeting a broad set of consumers who have not yet installed the app, and we measure our efficiency metric in terms of cost per install. As I have mentioned a while ago, we don't want to just spend a lot of money and not care about our efficiency. So we have to make sure that our cost per install is within our targets. And next would be the retention rate. Of course, if people would want to install our app, we want them to be as engaged as possible. We want them to buy within 30 days. We want them to visit our app as often as possible. So those are the metrics that we have for mobile app install. For mobile app engagement, it's a different case, because what we want here, what we target here is our current consumers already. So those who already bought in Lazada, those who have already visited our products, added to cart. So we retarget them based on the profile of the consumers, what is more relevant products to show to them. So, for example, if you have, for example, in this case, the picture is a sunglass, or I think it's an eyeglass. So if you have visited that specific SKU or that specific product, most likely you would be seeing a product, you would be seeing an ad that has that same set of SKUs, because most likely you would be more interested to buy that. So that is called retargeting, which I would be able to explain later how it works. So the metric here is cost per visit and cost per order, because for mobile app engagement, we want them to visit as much as possible in our app, and we want them to also convert. Okay. Okay, so yeah, as I've mentioned, for mobile app engagement, it's the power of retargeting. Okay, so for example, so these are the steps on how RT works. Actually, this is the most common type of retargeting, the pixel targeting. So for example, when someone comes to your website, we call this, there is an obtrusive piece of JavaScript called the pixel, which is placed on our browser. So that makes their browser cookied. I don't know if you have heard of cookies before, but then when they leave your site to surf to the web, that cookie notifies retargeting platforms to actually serve specific ads based on the specific pages they visited on your website. So I'll give you a more detailed and a more simpler example. So for example, let's say my friend here, Jose, actually visited our Lazada app, and he is maybe interested in buying watch for his mom, because his mom's birthday is maybe tomorrow already. So he wants to buy a watch, and he's interested in buying in Lazada. So he's now in the Lazada platform, and he has actually viewed a watch that he wants to buy for his mom. But then, for some instance, for some reason, he wasn't able to convert and buy that specific watch. Maybe, for example, something came up, or maybe he needs to drive home already, that he wasn't able to convert, he wasn't able to check out, and he wasn't able to pay. So, and then what happens, of course, the user leaves the website. Jose now drives home. There is a high probability that Jose might have forgotten to buy already. And he might have already give up that, okay, maybe I won't buy the watch anymore. So, but then what retargeting does is that when Jose visits Facebook, for instance, he will see a retargeting ad. It's called a carousel ad that has the watch that he visited for his mom, that he checked on the Lazada platform 1 hour or 2 hours ago. So that's actually the beauty of mobile app engagement, because it reminds our users of what specific products they have actually visited, and it reminds them to buy and convert what they should have bought 2 hours or 3 hours ago or a day ago. And then the user, of course, clicks on that ad, whatever Jose has seen. Jose saw that specific watch again. He clicks on that ad, and he is directed again to the Lazada platform or Lazada app, and now he now converts, which is what we want as sellers in the first place, because that is basically the goal. I think everyone agrees that whenever shoppers would visit the Lazada app, doesn't necessarily they don't necessarily have the intention to buy at all, right? They just want to be able to see what are the deals that Lazada has right now, what are the flash deals, what are the flash sales, what are the things that they can look at, and then afterwards, they wouldn't be able to know, oh, these are the things that I actually visited 1 or 2 hours ago, and it made me want to buy it actually. But then they would actually forget to buy it anyway. So that's actually the reason why retargeting is very important, because the first time shoppers would go to your app or would go to Lazada app, they don't have the intention. But then the retargeting ad works as a reminder for them that they should buy these products because they are actually interested in buying products in the first place. Okay? Okay, so that's how retargeting works. And to be honest, for the current sellers in Lazada, just to confirm that we're actually doing this for you. So if you have products already in Lazada right now, so those products, if ever a user visited your products, they would actually be receiving a retargeting ad that shows your products. So this is basically an ad that is dynamically pulled based on the profile of your consumers, those based on the profile of your target consumers. Yes.
Christian,
Yeah.
just to clarify, is this what we call the user behavior algorithm?
Yes, exactly. So it's called the user behavior algorithm. So what it does, it profiles consumers on what specific products they would most likely buy. And based on retargeting also, what are the products and what are the products that they have visited and they have added to cart, and they would be retargeted with that specific ad with those products in it. So that's actually how it works, and we're actually doing it for our sellers. Okay. Okay. So next slide. Okay, so let's now move on to what are the different kind of ads. So for the different kind of ads, we have actually different types that we leverage on. So for example, for the three examples that we have right now for ad types, we have a carousel ad, a banner ad, and a video ad. So what usually works, as I have mentioned, is a carousel ad. Why does it work? Because take note that the carousel ad is a dynamically pulled ad, meaning that the products that you see there, if you can see, the products that you see there are soap, and I don't know, I think that's a lip tint, or I don't know what.
It's a lip and cheek tint.
Oh, it's a lip and cheek tint. So basically, those, if ever I saw that specific ad, most likely I have interest in buying those specific products. So that is why it's the most successful ad type, because it is dynamically pulled. Unlike, for example, the banner, which is historically, in terms of performance, not as good as carousel, because this is not dynamically pulled. So whatever we want to push, for example, in this case, so it's a Wild Wednesday flash sale. So whatever consumers we have set, whatever targeting we have set in terms of our campaigns, those specific consumers will all see that same ad, right? So the reason why it's not as performing as carousel, because people doesn't necessarily have to have interest in Wild Wednesday flash sales, right? But then we're doing this. Why are we doing this in the first place? We're doing this if we want to raise awareness, we want to target reach, and we want to basically inform our consumers that, oh, we have a Wild Wednesday flash sale. And that means we're taking away our efficiency in terms of just taking this flash sale static banner and just making sure that, okay, we just have to inform our consumers that we have this flash sale going on.
So basically, the banner approach is closest to the offline approach that
Exactly.
classic marketers do.
Exactly.
So we call this as the shotgun approach.
Yes, somehow.
Yeah.
But then for static banners, we can also do targeting. So for example, we want to target those people who are interested in shopping and fashion, say for example. So those people are most likely the one interested in buying those set of products. So that is why it's a more of a gunshot, but then we can still make it segmented to make it more efficient. But then historically, carousel performs better. And then next would be a video ad. So a video is more interactive, of course, because a video ad gives them a sense of number one, more information for them. If, for example, in this case, we are we are actually showing the seller or seller engagement product, or seller engagement video ad. So it gives those potential sellers information on how to sell on Lazada. So more, of course, video nowadays, right? Because we want to be able to, at least we're more interacted whenever we see a video ad compared to a static banner. So that actually performs better. But then, just like the static ad, it performs worse than the carousel. There. So usually what we do here for a video ad, we post a video ad. Let's say, for example, for this seller engagement video ad, we do this. We post this video ad, say for 2 weeks, we do that, and then we get or we extract the audience for those consumers or for those users who have viewed that video 50% of the length of the video. So say, for example, the video is 20 seconds or 30 seconds, say 30 seconds, for example. And if we want to target those video viewers 50% of that 30 seconds, so that's 15 seconds, we want to retarget them with another ad. Say, for example, we target them a static ad that shows them how to do the seller engagement sign up thing. So it makes us more efficient. Why? Because we're now targeting those people who have most likely the interest of selling in Lazada, because these sellers or these users actually viewed our video for 15 seconds. So that's actually how we can do more efficient targeting in terms of our ads. So we can better perform in terms of efficiency. Yeah. Okay. So next. Okay. So this is just more of a detailed ad types. I won't delve into much here because I have explained the main things that we use here. So photo post. So we do this mainly for social engagement. So for example, if we're selling a lot of products, in this case, we're selling EL products, electronic products. So we just show them the price and we show them a link, and that's how we want them to drive traffic for us. A multi-photo post, it's the same of how it works with a photo post. A link post is also the same. Take note that the only difference is just how the photos are arranged, mainly because, for example, for multi-photo posts, we want them to see those 4 SKUs in one, while the link post is just one banner with those SKUs clamped up together. And video post, I have explained a while ago, and carousel post, I have explained it a while ago. Yeah? Okay. Okay, so what are the parts of a Facebook ad? So parts of a Facebook ad. So here we're doing the static ad. We're trying to check the parts of a static banner ad. So first is the caption. So I'll give you more of a detailed. I think we can do with best practices, right? For captions, the best practice, as far as my experience goes, is that it has to be interactive. Note that our ads note that our ads in Facebook is not necessarily something that a lot of Facebook users would go to. You go to Facebook not to look for ads, right? You go to Facebook because you would want to do Facebook things, Facebook stuff. So basically, these ads would show in Facebook. Once these users scroll through the feed, they would only see this ad, I think 1 second or 2 seconds based from the scrolling. So we have to make sure that the caption is really catchy. I suggest you use emojis. It's best practice for us because it makes it more light. It makes it more interactive, and you use the power of caps locks. Caps locks, yeah. For example, if you want to do flash sale, you want to do like a lightning bolt kind of emoji, and you give them what are the USPs, what are the universal selling propositions. So for example, for this flash sale, what are the things that they would get from going into this flash sale page, right? For example, the USPs are 80% off. We have vouchers that are 300 pesos off, no minimum spend, for example. So those are the things that you have to leverage on as a seller, because those are the things that makes your potential customers would want to buy and visit your official store, for example. Yeah. So
Actually,
Okay.
Christian, we've had a speaker here in Lazada,
Mm-hmm.
and he actually talked about the power of captions.
Mm-hmm.
According to him, right now, captions should be more conversational in nature. It
Yes.
shouldn't be too strict, and you can even use memes. Is that something that you can advise? Or-
Oh, okay. Actually, it depends. With memes, it depends on your branding. So, for example, for us, it has to be aligned with branding first, if ever we can use those specific captions. For you as sellers, if you would want to do your own Facebook digital marketing platform, it depends on you. So, for example, if you would want to go for a more premium set of consumers, right? You don't want to do memes. You don't want to do judge posts, right? So you have to make sure that your captions, your branding, your whatever you post is aligned with what your consumers want.
Cool.
There. Okay. So the banner video, of course, that's the ad. Title, that's really important. You have the title, which is basically what you're showing. Description, and of course the shop now, which is what we call the call to action button. So it will depend on what you want your consumers to do once they click on that specific ad. Okay, and then one more thing that I have to explain to you is the text overlay. This is very, very important. Why? Because we have a rule, it's called the 20% text rule, that whatever we show on Facebook, it has to only have 20% text of your whole banner. So for example, in this case, it's Huawei Mate 10. So whatever text you see there complies to the 20% text rule. So why is it important for it to be able to comply to that rule? Because Facebook has this algorithm, or Facebook has a way for them to check if the banner actually is within that rule. If it doesn't, it will only show, or it will only your reach would only be limited to a number of audience. So as much as possible, you wouldn't want your posts to just be limited to a set of audiences just because you didn't comply to the 20% tax overlay rule. So it's very important that um if you do your videos, if you do your static banners, it has to comply to that rule. Yeah? Okay. Okay, next is what are the goals of social media marketing? So this is basically us aligning you with what goals you should put as digital marketers in case you would want to have your own business. What are the things that you have to be able to focus on moving forward if you want to really rely and leverage on this specific skill? Okay, first, you have to know your objectives. Note that we have different objectives for different posts. For us, what we always go for, or as I have explained, we always go for app installs and we always go for engagement. We can go for traffics. We can get potential customers. For awareness, it depends on it really depends on your objective. It's more of social engagement. So for example, um, if you go for Lazada 11/11 sale and you want to reach a wide range of customers, you can book a rich and frequency audience, and then you show that specific post, and you can get a wide reach. And then next, you can go for sales and conversions. You can go for traffic. You can go for app installs, conversions. You can even go for messages. So bottom line, I don't have to explain in detail. Bottom line, you have to be able to know your objectives. What do you want your consumers to do? Do you want your consumers to be aware of your product? Do you want your consumers to actually shop that specific product? Do you want your consumers to install your app? Do you want your consumers to view your videos? So those are the things that you have to align firsthand. Okay, next, how to make good Facebook ads. So these are the things that I should be able to align with you as well. So first is make meaningful engagements. As I have mentioned, it's very critical for you to determine your target audience. So as I gave an example before, for example, if your products are more into makeup, therefore your target audience should only be female, right? Because your male wouldn't be one. I mean, if you want to target male, maybe those male customers or male consumers who want to buy gifts for their wives, gifts for their daughters, I don't know. But then spend should only be limited because we don't want to put much spend on male audience.
Plus, you have to adjust whatever it is that you're going to post if it has a special reason behind it, correct?
Yes, exactly. So whatever you post, you have to make sure that it's aligned with your target audience. Next, you can also search for trending topics. What actually works, I don't know, it was trending before. It's the chili being really expensive. This remember the chili costing around
Yeah.
1,000
1,000
pesos,
pesos per
1,000
kilo.
pesos per kilo, right? So you can actually leverage on that, and you can actually make trending topics leverage into what you would want to show to your consumers. So it could actually be a good leverage in terms of trying to make your consumers more engaged with what you post in Facebook. And then, as I have mentioned, your content should always be aligned with your branding. If you want to go for premium consumers, always go for premium content. If you want to go for those consumers that are low ASP or low average selling consumers who are always buying low average selling price products, then you always go for those kind of content.
Christian,
Mhm.
question. What's your take with regards to the contrast of the brand and what's currently trending online? So, which should sellers prioritize first? Should it be the brand or whatever is trending at the time?
It should always be your brand. So it's very important that it's always aligned with your brand because whatever trending right now stops 1 month, 2 months from now. Bottom line, 3 months from now, they would always go to, okay, maybe this seller number A always goes for this specific set of consumers. And that is why it should always go with that specific brand and that specific content. Yeah?
Okay, clear.
Okay, so results, of course, the higher the post engagement, the higher relevance score. And the more relevance score that you get, the more impression share and the lower cost per engagement. That this is actually important because the more people are engaged in your posts, the more Facebook will prioritize you in their algorithm. Okay, to be honest, I gave specific examples for you to be able to better understand it. Okay, so first, let's go for Pampers. So for Pampers, is it more females or is it more of males? I think it's more of females,
Females.
right? Because moms are the ones that are usually buying Pampers. But then it shouldn't be actually just limited to females. I remember we did a Pampers Super Brand Day before, and we didn't actually limit our audience to females. Instead, we also targeted males, but we only limited spend on it because we have data that are showing us that males are actually buying Pampers for their children. So those are the things that you should ask yourself. Next, should 13 to 18 years old be included in buying Pampers? No, right? Right? Why would a 13-year-old teenager buy Pampers?
Well, that depends.
Yeah, well, that depends, exactly. But
Yeah.
then those are the things that you have to be able to take into account. Next, Dove Men Care. Is it more females? Is it more for males? Of course, it's more for males because it's Dove Men. Should 45 to 54 years old be actually included? So, I mean, those are in terms of age demographic, those are the things that you have to take into account when making those posts. Next is what do you call this? This is a
High
high
heels.
heels,
Yeah.
right? This high heels.
Studded high heels.
Okay, this is more for females, definitely. And 55 to 65 most likely are not interested in buying this specific products. Next are condoms. I don't know if it's more for both,
Mhm.
but then I think it's more for males. And then should 13 to 18 years old be included? Of course not. So those are the things that I mean. I'm just giving you examples for you to be able to imagine how you should target your consumers in terms of demographic, in terms of age, in terms of maybe underage, their interests. Yeah. Okay. So next slide. Now,
I
yeah, you have a question?
Yeah, I think this is very important
Mm-hmm.
to for our sellers because a lot of sellers have this misconception that they can sell their products to everyone.
Exactly.
But the problem is that people have preferences based on their needs and wants as people.
Yes. Yes.
So you need to properly target the product that you're selling to those people so that they'll be more encouraged to buy those products.
Exactly. Because think of it this way: if you're targeting, let's say, for the high heels, you're targeting males, right? Basically, what you do here is you're showing this high heels SKUs to male consumers. and they're not actually interested in clicking that specific ad. That means you're wasting money out of it because you're making you're making Facebook earn for an ad that shouldn't be targeted to males in the first place. Okay. As I have said, target the right audience. We can also do interests targeting. So, for example, in this case, for diapers, we can do what we call brand targeting. So, for example, those who are interested in diapers, we can go for interest targeting like Pampers. We can go for Huggies. We can go for Happy. I don't know, all of the diaper brands we can go for. Because why can we do this? Because those people who might have bought Pampers before might be interested in diapers in general. So those are the things that we need to be able to know and we need to be able to somehow leverage in, right? Interest targeting. And take note that you can also exclude targeting. So um, for example, if you want, for example, for L'Oreal or for Maybelline, for makeup products, you would want to exclude those people who are interested in, say, for example, interested in buying sportswear, right? Because you would want to exclude those people who are most likely not interested in taking care of themselves. So those are the things that you have to take into account in terms of trying to target your, trying to do the target settings for your ads, right? Okay. The 20% X rule, this was already explained a while ago. Basically, what it says to us is that it has to be 20% for it to be properly reviewed by Facebook, and Facebook will then give you the optimal reach that your ad should be able to receive. Okay, the Facebook pixels. I think I have already explained somehow to you here in retargeting a while ago. So creating a Facebook pixel. So basically what the Facebook pixel does is it tracks your website activity. So for example, in Lazada app, there is a pixel that is installed there. And whenever you visit the Lazada app, you are gonna be cookied or you're gonna be profiled. And once you go to different sets of media channels, those cookies would actually those cookies would actually serve you retargeting ads, make you serve retargeting ads in terms of what specific retargeting partner we have. So for example, for us, we have RTB House, we have Facebook. So in this case, we can improve our return on advertising and we can even reach new and existing customers. So this is the power of Facebook Pixel. So if you can install it, for example, if the sellers that we have right now have a website in terms of if they have a created website for their set of products that they do sell, maybe you can create a pixel out of it.
Is this for free?
Yeah, for free. That actually I'm not sure. But then, well, the main point is that when they have created the pixel and installed in their website, it will actually be really powerful for them because they would be able to somehow track those people who visit their website and retarget them with different set of ads. Okay, how do we know if the ad is effective? So this is really important. Okay, as I have said to you guys, so it's really important for you to be as efficient as possible because you wouldn't want to spend thousands and thousands of dollars for nothing. So you need to be able to check how much. These are basically the simple metrics that we check on a daily basis. First is the click-through rate. So what the click-through rate formula is basically that is clicks over impressions. So out of those people who have seen your ad, how many actually click that specific ad? And then cost per link click or cost per click is how much do you spend actually per each click? And then cost per impression, that is how much cost you do, how much cost you spend per 1,000 impressions, and then the relevant score. So those are the things that are really important for you. So for example, in this case, we have 5 different ads, right? Those are represented by 5 different rows there. So for example, for the first one, the CTR or the click-through rate is 3.93, 4.21, 6.56, and 2.11, and so on. So you can see here that campaign number 3 actually has the best CTR. So this tells you that maybe whatever the ad that this campaign is actually showing is relevant, or is in or maybe your consumers are more interested in this and in whatever content you have shown on that specific ad. And if you would also notice, if you would check the CPC or the cost per click, it's more cheaper. Why is it cheaper? Because a lot of people are clicking on that specific ad. So for example, if you have 1,000 cost and you have around 1,000 or 10,000 clicks, that means you're actually efficient because you are spending um, less than how many clicks you're actually getting.
Christian,
Yeah.
is there an application where they can check these things? And where should they check this? Is this on Facebook,
Yes.
Instagram, or on Lazada?
Actually, guys, for the sellers, you can create your own business manager account. It's actually free. If you would just go to business, I think you can just search it in Google. It's business manager, Facebook business manager, and set it up yourself. And I think they would also, of course, I mean, in terms of setting up accounts, that is actually more straightforward. So you can actually do it at your home. So if you have already created the campaigns, and then that's already it. So I think what Facebook only requires here is that you would have a Facebook page for your seller, for whatever campaign you will be leveraging on. So for example, if I think it's common nowadays, right? So for example, for insurance companies, they have the Bright Millennial. For different sellers, I think people are also selling in Facebook, right? So if you have a Facebook page, you can create a Facebook Business Manager account and link that specific Facebook page in that account. And then afterwards, you can already leverage and try playing around with your campaigns and setting up your ads.
Okay, guys. So just to repeat that, Facebook Business Manager account.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Facebook Business Manager account. Yeah. Okay. Next. Oops. Hold on.
Actually, that's basically it for today's session. We will be happy to answer the questions being posted in the chat box right now. But before we do, I just want to promote the other webinars that we have under Lazada University. So if you go to if you go to this link right here and click it, you will be redirected to our landing page where you will be able to find all of the webinars that we will be holding for the month of October. We will be coming up with new topics by November, so please stay tuned. And of course, we are hoping that all of you have applied the Power 5 tools before 11/11. Okay, that is very important, especially for your visibility and overall conversion. Okay, aside from that, please prepare for the upcoming 11/11 shopping festival. It's gonna be crazy, people. Okay, right now we are targeting 150 million visitors. That's a lot of potential for you to sell your products, even your not so bestseller SKUs. But basically, we want you to maximize your overall conversion during that single day. Okay, it's just one day, so don't miss out on the shopping festival. So right now, we will be entertaining the questions being posted in the chat box. So if you have any, please feel free to post them. Okay. And for those who are asking, yes, the webinar has been recorded and we will be posting this on the Lazada University. So we will be scrolling all the way back to the first questions being posted here. So from Dexter Chan, hello, I'm confused about mobile app install. Can you get more concrete examples?
Okay, so thank you, Dexter, for that question. So for mobile app install, actually, I'm the best person to actually ask this because I'm actually handling mobile app install campaigns for Lazada. So okay, so how we do this is we actually target broad consumers. For example, for different set of ads, so we actually target a broad set of consumers. Why? Why do we have to target broad? In the first place, we want to target those people who haven't yet have the Lazada app, right? So we want to target a broad set of consumers, and then target them with ads that they would be most likely interested in clicking. And that when they click on that ad, of course, they won't be led to the app. It won't lead to traffic right away. They will lead to App Store or Play Store, and then they would have to install the app. And once they open the app, then that's the time that it would be recorded as a visit. So it's more of targeting a broad set of consumers. And if I think this would be very useful for you as sellers if you already, I don't know, if you have the capacity or the visibility to actually develop an app for your business. And if you do, it's really important for you to use Facebook as a mobile app install leverage in terms of trying to create campaigns. Yeah.
Okay, good. So next question will be from Jess Tan. Hello, can we put pixels on Lazada? So when we create an ad, it will go straight to our Lazada store.
Okay. Our Lazada app already has a pixel on it. So if ever people visited the Lazada app, they would be recorded and they would be cookied already. So when you actually visited a specific product, you are already profiled, and wherever you go, you will be followed with whatever product you actually bought. If ever you're asking if it would go straight to your Lazada store, no, it doesn't go straight to your Lazada store. It goes straight to PDP or the product page. So for example, if you are selling makeup, and if say Jose wants to buy makeup for his mom, he goes to that specific product, he visited that, he went away, he goes to Facebook, he saw that ad with that makeup, he clicked on it, but then he won't go to your official store. Instead, he would go to the makeup product page of that specific SKU, and that's the time that we would want him to convert. So that's how the pixel works in Lazada, and that's how powerful we are using it for your end as well, of course, as sellers, because we want to leverage more on you.
Again, it all boils down to the user behavior algorithm. Okay,
Yes.
so whatever it is that you viewed in the past, it's going to be reflected again in your future browsing.
Yes.
All right, so for Jewel Rivera, for retargeting, how are the products viewed refresh? Is it really based on real-time views, or is it refreshed every month?
Actually, that's a good question. Thank you, Joel, for that question. Retargeting is actually real time. So yes, if you have viewed your product today, most likely you would see a Lazada ad later on in Facebook, and a carousel ad would show up if you're part of our pools, and you would be seeing that specific SKU. Now, if you're asking if ever it's refreshed every month, actually we have this so-called, we exclude those people who have, for example, sorry, I would be giving a more concrete example so you'd be able to better understand it. So let's take the makeup example again of Jose. So for example, if Jose viewed that specific product, goes to Facebook and saw that Facebook ad with that makeup on it, and then he doesn't click it, he scrolls down and he goes out of Facebook. Once he goes back to Facebook again, he won't see that Lazada ad anymore. Why? Because we're more on gearing towards user experience. We won't want to bombard users with a lot of our ads. So we're targeting also best user experience. So as much as possible, we target it on a daily basis. So if you saw a Lazada ad based on your profile history, you might be seeing it only on a daily basis, not on an hourly basis, not on a feed per feed basis. So yeah, so that's how retargeting works, and that's how we do it.
Okay. So next, is there a way to check who are the buyers at or in Lazada? So when we do online marketing, we can target the right target market.
Okay.
From John Bautista.
In terms of who are the buyers, it's very broad actually, John, because we a lot of people actually buys in Lazada, and we can't really pinpoint what specific market you should actually target because it depends on the products you are actually selling. So bottom line, in terms of looking at the Lazada as a whole, we have I can give you a guarantee that we're getting a lot of traffic from 18 to 24 audience and 25 to 34 audience. And our focus categories are also those health and beauty products, those who are more into female products. So, but that is Lazada as a whole, right? So if you're interested on targeting the right market for for your business, it has to always depend on what products you're actually selling.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that you should adjust the products that you're selling so that you can better cater to that audience. Remember
Mhm.
that your brand should be always be a priority when you're selling on the platform.
Yes.
Okay, so for Bel Castino, any recommendation about video making sites or app?
Okay, so okay, this is actually a question that's not that I'm not an expert of because I'm not really making videos
Yeah.
out of Lazada. But then there are a lot of video softwares, video making softwares that are available online. Maybe you could leverage on that. And
Bel, if you are a newbie or if you're just trying to start or
mhm,
create your own videos, I strongly suggest that you start with Vegas,
yeah.
and then hopefully you can graduate into Adobe because those are usually the video editing software that people use when they're creating their first videos. Okay, it's a sad thing that Movie Maker is not available for everyone, but I think that's the best because it's not that creative enough for people to use. Okay, so next for Jewel Rivera, how do sellers get to be featured on Lazada's official Facebook page, particularly for promotional ads? Is it paid ad with Lazada or do you only feature FBL brands?
Okay. Okay, that's a good question. How do sellers get to be featured on Lazada's official page? In terms of seller wise, specific seller, we don't actually feature a specific seller. It depends on the brand. So if you're a big seller, then definitely if you have a partnership with Lazada that deals with a specific, let's say a brand, of course you would be featured. But then in terms of featuring a specific seller, we don't actually do that on a daily basis. What we can guarantee you as a seller is we're actually showing your products based on user-based algorithm. So if ever people are interested in viewing your products, of course, your ads or your products would be viewed or would be shown into our ads based on that users. Yes. So is it a paid ad with Lazada? That dynamically pulled ad is definitely paid. So we pay it. Why do we pay it for you? We pay it for traffic because our goal is for for users to actually go to our app as much as possible. And it's your goal as sellers to actually give our consumers the best deals as possible. So that's how it works.
Okay, so next from Mila Ben, how to install and create Pixel for Lazada.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to install it anymore. We already have it, so you don't have to worry about this.
Okay.
The Lazada is already doing it for you. So whatever products you have in our Lazada platform, it will really be shown once your target consumers are actually viewing that specific product.
Okay, for John Bautista, I think this question has already been answered with regards to performance checking.
Yeah.
Now let's go to Isa Bongkaras, which usually catches the audience's attention. The content of the ad or the snapshot or poster of the product.
Hmm. Good question. Because the static banner has different elements,
Mhm.
right? And those specific elements actually makes up the most of our ads because whatever you see in a static banner has a specific purpose.
Mhm.
Okay, so I will be sharing you, Isa. I think one of the top elements that should be shown into your banners. First, it has to have a USP. If you're asking if the content of the ad is actually better, I can actually share to you that it is actually better, but it's best that you have content that is a cat that serves the universal selling proposition of that specific ad. So for example, a while ago, we're doing a flash sale campaign. So we're showing on that specific banner or that specific ad the things or the reasons why they should actually click on that ad. It's very important that you leverage on that content or you leverage on that universal selling propositions. For example, 80% off. For example, vouchers minimum spend, 300% off. Um, those are the things that you have to leverage on. Those are USPs. Yes, Dexter. Those are USPs.
Just to clarify, Dexter, unique selling proposition,
Yes,
correct?
yes,
That's your unique selling proposition.
yes. There. So it's very important to leverage on the content. Why is it also important to go for the poster? Because people don't read the content right away. Take note that this is an ad. So they don't read your captions. They don't read the text. When they scroll in Facebook, what the first impression for a user, for a Facebook user, is to react on that specific SKU that you are showing. So if you're showing an Apple product, then that's the time that they pause and that's the time that they read your content. So it always has to be a mix of both. Yes. So you're saying something that makes the product unique from the others. Yes, exactly. That's what the USP is. So you have to always tell your users, communicate to your users why they have to click on your ad and why does it make sense for them to give 3 minutes of
Yeah.
your time to actually check out on what product you're actually selling. So,
Because for one, you have to make sure that you get their attention. That's important.
mhm.
The second part is one, what is it for me to actually check? What's in it for me to check this post? Correct?
Yes, exactly. So Isa, as I've mentioned, I can't give you the right answer to that question because you're actually making me choose. The best way to answer it is that it's actually both.
A combination of
Both content have to be really relevant to your consumers. So it has to have that, for example, for Apple, it has to be really catchy that your Apple product is actually showing really relevant to your consumers, and then that's the time that you then show your USPs to them. So why do I have to buy that Apple product?
Yeah.
What's in it for me? Why do I have to buy in Lazada instead of buying in SM or buying in different stores? I mean, I'm just stating an example, but those are the things that you have to always take into account. So if you see an ad, it's always a combination of both. If you wouldn't see anything that only has a picture on it or it only has a text on it. So yeah, there.
All right. So from Jestan, hi. We have our independent website where we put FB pixels so we can retarget it from our FB ads. We'd like to do it also for Lazada store, but since it already has pixel, as you had said, we can't access it.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Jess, for that question. Yes, it has already pixels on our Lazada app. So I'm not actually sure why are you interested in getting that specific pixel or getting the access to that specific pixel because we're already doing it for you.
So Christian, just to assure everyone, we are already retargeting
Yes,
the people.
everyone. We're,
All
we're,
right.
we're using we're using user behavior targeting, user behavior algorithm. So we're already doing it for you. So if you have your own way of doing it with your own website, then that's an added that's a plus for you. But then in terms of the pixels that we already have, I think it's our part to also do it for you. Yeah.
I have a question, Christian.
Yeah.
With regards to cross posting for FB and Instagram,
Mhm.
do we recommend cross posting for our sellers, especially with regards to the products that they have?
Yeah, I mean, if they could do it, then
Mhm.
most likely they could. So if you're asking about Facebook and Instagram, Jose, it depends because Facebook is actually more performing than Instagram because Facebook has more users than
Mhm.
Instagram. So if they want to sacrifice efficiency on Instagram for more reach, then it's up to them.
I see.
So again, it always depends on how efficient you would want in terms of spending in different channels. But then if you would want to go for more reach, you can go for Instagram, you can go for Facebook, you can even go for Messenger placement, guys. So I don't know if you have seen that in your Messenger, you also see
Yeah, there are
ads.
some ads.
There are also some ads there, so you can also go there.
So Dexter Chan, if you want to fix our FB ads, is there anyone in Lazada who can help us?
Fix your
What
FPS.
numbers we can go? I think you have to talk to an online marketing firm for that,
Mhm.
Dexter. There's no one in Lazada who can actually cater or is currently doing that service for you. Maybe we can integrate that in the future in the service marketplace, but currently, right now, we don't have anyone who can do that for you here.
Mhm.
Okay?
Well, Dexter, you can always learn online, I
Mm-hmm.
think, because I think all the things that I have explained here are all readable online, definitely, because definitely retargeting works anywhere. I think even small enterprises right now,
Mhm.
I see a lot in Instagram, I see a lot in Facebook doing their own business and having their own digital marketing. It's actually it's actually fulfilling on our end as digital marketers because we actually see businesses grow from what we do. So that's actually a good question, and I like the initiative. But then, unfortunately, as Jose has mentioned, we don't have that service yet. But then, definitely, you could learn it online, and you could leverage from this specific webinar. Jose has recorded it for you, so if you have to redo the whole webinar, you can do it at your own time.
All right. So, guys, last question for today. Or are we all good? Is everything clear? Do you have any more questions?
Is it clear, guys? Have you learned? Okay,
Okay, perfect.
that's actually great.
So, guys, let's thank Christian for teaching us valuable tips with regards to online marketing for Facebook. And guys, again, we would love to hear from you. So please do answer the survey that you will encounter after this training session, so that we will be able to conduct additional trainings like this one in the future. Okay?
Okay.
So when can we have another same webinar? I'm not really sure if Christian can find the time in the future, but we will try to pull him out from his team. Okay, but no assurance there. Okay, so guys, we will be posting this on Lazada University. Thank you for being a great audience for today, and hope to see you on 11/11. Happy selling, everyone, and see you this shopping festival.
Thank you, guys. Good luck.
Bye, guys.